One of my guests is seated. He is Edem Agbana, the Deputy National Youth Organizer for the NDC. Good morning, Edem.
Good morning.
How are you?
Well, by God's grace, we're fine.
Okay, fantastic. Well, let's begin today's conversation with our first topic. We want to talk about the electricity power outages, and that has been happening, and the government is assuring us of stable power soon. And let me just quickly read that story that we have here on citinewsroom.com, and then we'll take Edem's thoughts on that. Excuse me. A Deputy Energy Minister, William Oreku-Edu, says erratic power supply being experienced in some parts of the country excuse me, should stabilize soon. Speaking on the Citi Breakfast Show, Mr. Oreku-Edu said the state is looking at just a matter of days to bring this whole problem to an end. Some consumers have been experiencing consistent power cuts in recent weeks and have been demanding clarity from the state. The Deputy Minister explained that the challenges with an ongoing pigging exercise is what is creating the problems that we are encountering now. Pipeline pigging is a concept in pipeline maintenance that involves the use of devices known as pigs, to which clean pipelines and are capable of checking pipeline conditions. This process is done without necessarily interfering with the flow of product in the pipe. Describing the encountered problems as unexpected, he noted that the exercise has taken out over 1,000 megawatts from the Tema area. Excuse me. There's also the issue of lack of gas because of the cleaning out of the pipelines which supplies gas from Nigeria. Unfortunately, some of the generation plants that we planned with have encountered some unexpected challenges. He says the pigging exercise has been completed ahead of schedule and will be followed by some analysis. The analysis will hopefully come to an end by tomorrow, Thursday, that's today actually, and gas will be introduced somewhere at the beginning of March 2020, and then it will ramp up until we get the full complement of gas supply to the Tema enclave. All right. Edem, what do you make of this? Excuses or factual reality?
Good morning to you and your crew, and also to our cherished viewers across the world. Excuses, because
really?
Yes, when you understand what pipeline pigging means and how it is done, it is not supposed to, under any condition, interrupt the flow of supply. So when they
help us to understand what pipeline pigging
is basically cleaning of the pipeline. So we receive gas from Nigeria through the West African gas pipeline.
Yeah.
And so if you are doing pigging, all it means is that you are cleaning your pipeline to ensure that in the future you don't have a situation where maybe as in the process of supply, some particles or items may interrupt by blocking. So you are cleaning. And check, all over the world, when you do pigging, it never interrupts the flow of supply of electricity. So this argument that the erratic power supply that we are experiencing.
Is the pigging, will the pigging does it not demand that you stop gas flow?
It doesn't demand. That is why even in the story, the Deputy Minister contradicted himself when he said that the development is unexpected. And in that they didn't expect it to come to this. However, you can read the story. He said so, and you can let your producers check. Pigging does not interrupt the flow of supply. So it is not. So yes, it may be true that they are doing pigging, but the pigging cannot be the reason why there is erratic power supply. Isn't it interesting that again, As far back as January 18th, 2020, I recall the same deputy minister granting interview to some sister stations, and he said, he projected that there's going to be some maintenance work. Knowing that Ghana, as we have now, and this country, this government has constantly criticized the John Dramani Mahama administration for excess power.
Okay.
You know, they've criticized us that when we had the erratic power supply challenges in 2014 and 2015, in our attempt to solve the problem, we over-contracted many IPPs and that we have excess power that we did not need, which to them was cost to the nation. So if indeed, let's even buy into the flimsy excuse of the fact that it is the pigging that is interrupting the flow. You project that you are starting pigging in February 2020. What do? You shift some of the supply to your other lines because, as you say, you have over 2,700 megawatts in excess.
Yeah.
So what do? Proper planning would demand that you migrate the areas that you think the pigging may affect to the other lines so that you make use of that excess power that you always complain that you are paying for, that Ghanaians are not in need of. So it is not a pigging. What is happening is that the managers of the economy, the NPP, the Akufo-Addo-led government, have been so incompetent in handling the energy sector. Could you believe that since 2019, they have not been able to procure light crude oil? Since 2019.
When in 2019? From
January 2019, the whole of 2019, and we challenged them at our energy policy dialogue to respond to these claims that since 2019, the government of Ghana has not been able to procure light crude oil. So what is helping us is that...
Where are you getting this information from?
No, as a party waiting to form a government in January 2021, we should have an interest in what happens in all the sectors. Okay. And so when we held our energy policy dialogue at the Alisa Hotel a few weeks ago, we challenged them to some of these things. At that same forum, we told them and we projected that if the way and manner in which the Akufo-Addo government is handling the energy sector continues, sooner than later, we're going to run into a situation where there will be erratic power supply. And true to our words, as if we were prophets of doom, it is happening. So if the deputy minister is running all over the place explaining that it is not doom so and that it will end soon, it is a pigging and all of that, all we are demanding is that you have been incompetent at handling a sector that you inherited, a sector that it took us a lot of sweat. When we came in, Ghana was experiencing challenges with erratic power supply. That President Mahama and the NDC said that, look, yes, for 2 good years, 2014, 2015, Ghana faced serious challenges with power supply. That was the days of the doomsaw. The economy was affected. The mining sector, manufacturing sector, all of them contracted because at the end of the day, they didn't have the needed power to go about their normal business. So President Mahama, during the State of the Nation address, said, look, this problem of erratic power supply has been with us for such a long time. It has been generational. He does not just want to complain about it or solve it in a way that will only last to win political power within a few years. And he was interested in ensuring that he was solving it for the future so that Ghana should never run into such a problem again. And that is why we went in for all these, Ameri and the other IPPs, car power, ship, and all of those. So if you have excess power and you even sell some to neighboring countries and you still complain that there is still excess, it is because we projected that. The reason why we had a doomsaw in 2014, 2015 was that our demand had outgrown supply. And we didn't want to get to that point again. Before we came into power, most of the power supply that we had was from hydro. Then we realized that the hydro was not sustainable. When this country went 2006, 2007, we had power supply challenges, and pastors were mobilized to go to the Akosombo Dam to go and pray for rain. Because at that time, we were highly dependent on hydro. So we decided to move to other power sources. So the kind of energy sector that we left behind for the NPP, they have no excuse to lead us to this erratic power supply challenges that we have today.
So are you suggesting, when you say mismanagement?
Yes, it's mismanagement.
Okay. Okay, so in the sense of what exactly is it? Financial? Is it a financial issue? What is it? Why are we experiencing across the country pockets of power outages? What's going on?
It's multi-dimensional. Financial is part, technical is part. So, for example, if we let's start with this argument of the pigging, and you know very well that you were projected to do.
Before you continue there, I just want to read
yes,
for clarification purposes the definition that I found here on Wikipedia for pigging. It says, in pipeline transportation, pigging is the practice of using devices known as pigs or scrapers to perform various maintenance operations. This is done without stopping the flow of the product in the pipeline, which means that there's no reason why gas shouldn't be flowing whilst you're pigging. These devices are known as pigs because they scrape or clean just like a normal pig. All right.
So it vindicates the point that I'm making, that it's mismanagement. It cannot be the pigging that is responsible for the shedding of over 200 megawatts of power.
And they said they turned off 1,000 megawatts from the Tema area. What's that about?
That's the technical challenges that I'm talking about. So if you are turning off 1,000 megawatts because you claim that there was excess, and we are only shedding off 200 megawatts, the simple common sense should tell us that it is as easy as migrating the Tema area and the areas that are facing the challenges to the other lines. But they are not capable of doing this. Not too long ago, the independent power suppliers threatened that because government was owing them some money, they were going to shut down and the whole country was going to run into doom. So you recall that story a few weeks ago. So the financial challenges are still there. We are only demanding that for the sake of proper planning, admit that you have been incompetent and you have mismanaged the sector. Bring out a doomsday timetable so that when I'm leaving my home to work at 7:30 a.m., I know that at 12 midday, my lights are going to go off. So I know what kind of machines to turn on and off and what properties I'm taking out of my fridge and all of these things. And it has come to that because speak to the people, speak to the ordinary Ghanaian. It has come to that. You are there sometimes within 24 hours. Your lights goes on and off for more than 6 times. Isn't it surprising? It's very ironical that the very day President Akufo-Addo read out the State of the Nation address and told the whole nation, told the whole world that doomsday is a thing of the past and that it will never happen again, that same evening, half of this country was in darkness. So it's a matter of the lack of proper planning and its mismanagement. And we are only pleading with the NPP government that we know it's an election year. We know the propaganda value that they attach to this whole doomsday business and why they are finding it difficult to publish the load shedding. And we have sources at ECG, and they have told us that they've actually prepared a load shedding timetable. And so John Jinapo has challenged them that come out with a load shedding timetable so that Ghanaians will know that we are not going to get power at this particular moment or at this time. Then we know how to plan our daily activities without maximum effect of the doomsday on our businesses. That's what we are demanding them to do.
I see. Well, hopefully we're able to fix this issue very soon. Let's go to the next story, and it's regarding this GETFund issue, the rot that is going on at the GETFund, and I want to quickly read a couple of stories, and I'll engage my guests again. The Deputy Agric Minister questions the credibility of the Auditor General's GETFund report. All right, so Deputy Minister of Agric, Kennedy Osei Nyarko has questioned the credibility of the audit done by the Auditor General, Daniel Yao Domelovo, on the Ghana Education Trust Fund scholarship scheme, which listed names of some members of parliament, politicians, among others, as beneficiaries. The deputy minister's name was listed as one of those who benefited from the scholarship, but he has denied ever receiving such an award and queried the Auditor General over the matter. I want to state categorically that I have not benefited from any GETFund scholarship to study abroad. I did not intend to apply for any scholarship from the GETFund administrators to pursue my education. I am capable of financing my education to whatever level I want to go, whether doing it locally or abroad. Mr. Osei Nyarko told Citi News. Now, let me also read quickly what the Auditor General's response was. He says, and the story reads, the Auditor General, Daniel Domelovo, has told the Deputy Minister of Agric, Kennedy Osei Nyarko, that his outfit is not responsible for the list of beneficiaries of the Ghana Education Trust Fund, captured in his performance audit report. Mr. Domelovo instead urged Mr. Nyarko to take up any grievance he had with the GETFund. The Achim-Soweto legislator on Monday threatened to sue the Auditor General if his name was not retracted from the list of beneficiaries of the GETFund scholarship. He claimed he had never benefited from a GETFund scholarship to study abroad, but Mr. Domelovo noted in a letter to the legislator that, and I quote, every information or name that is contained in the performance audit report on GETFund came from GETFund, the audited entity. He also said his office had no malice or bias towards any individuals named as beneficiaries from GETFund in the audit report. Now, I want us to, before we get into the story, let me introduce my other guest to you, George Ayisi, who is a team member of the government communication team, has joined us, and I want to engage him briefly on the earlier topic that we had, discussing the issue of the power outages, and then we'll continue with the next story. Hi. George,
hello,
you are welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad. I'm sorry for coming late.
Okay,
sorry.
so let's dive right in. Let's dive right into it. So the power outages. What's this excuse that your deputy minister is giving us on the
pigging?
Yes, on the issue of pigging. I mean, I don't by my limited knowledge, it doesn't make sense to me.
Oh, are you sure?
No, it doesn't.
It ought to make sense.
Okay, explain to us how it
you.
makes sense, because I read a definition of pigging just a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
And by definition, pigging should not stop the flow of gas. So, as far as I'm concerned,
once is a process of cleaning, you get it. Sometimes, and besides that, too, they've moved the car power and others to the Takoradi enclave, right?
Okay.
And then they are doing certain things here in the Tema enclave to tie it into the national grid or whatever. In fact, I have a friend who
why did you not mention those things?
No,
and you rather talking about cleaning your pipelines?
No, that's the main issue. The pigging is the main issue.
Yeah, but
the
George,
West African gas pipeline,
look,
and co. You ought to.
Let me read the definition to you. This is from Wikipedia, so I'm not making it up.
No, I'm not saying you're going to make it up.
It says here, in pipeline transportation, pigging is the practice of using devices known as pigs or scrapers to perform various maintenance operations.
Thank you.
This is done without stopping the flow of the product in the pipeline.
Okay.
These devices are known as pigs because they scrape or clean, just like a normal pig would do.
Good.
Pause for a second and gather your thoughts. We'll come back after this short break. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. And remember, the hashtag is Breakfast Daily to communicate with us on all social media platforms. And the WhatsApp number is 0550-585-832. This is Breakfast Daily. And if you happen to be outside the jurisdiction of Ghana, kindly prefix the WhatsApp number with +233. George Ayisi, who is the government communication team member, was giving us his response to the question about the power outages. George.
I'm happy the Honourable Deputy Minister is come to explain the matter, and it's premised it on the pigging issue, and you have given us a definition of pigging. It doesn't mean you cannot stop it and do the cleaning. And so if they've opted for the option of stopping to do the cleaning properly, I would rather we take it as the explanation. And then
hold on, George.
What was important?
George, hold on. So you're saying that even though pigging does not require the stopping of the gas flow, the energy,
the circumstance,
they've decided to stop it anyway.
No, the circumstance may warrant the possibility of the stoppage. What if you go ahead and it can cause some problems? You get it? I say it does not require. Okay? So if you can do it concurrently, you do the cleaning as the gas is flowing for safety reasons and you decide to stop it and do it, why not? Okay, the technical people may give you the proper meaning. This is dictionary, Wikipedia meaning.
We need a further and better explanation to what's going on.
Goes on, the technical people will come in with further and better particulars. But for now,
it leaves the space wide open and allows us to believe what the minority is arguing that there are actually other challenges which include technical and financial.
No, when we went through the 4 years of Domelovo, we had consistently and persistently said it was a financial matter because our generation capacity was in excess of what we needed at peak periods, okay? And then installed capacity and generating capacities were there. And the generating capacity was the problem as a result of fuel mix and all that. We've gone beyond that. And so we were aware that the Domelovo matter we had said was financial. And so when we came, financial arrangements and was something that we decided to have a handle on. Now, going forward, we've had times. You remember the Pukwasi area challenge, about 3-4 days power outage, not continuous, but intermittent. And so if we've gotten to this point, and it's a practice that from time to time the pipeline ought to be cleaned, and they are doing it as of now, and that is inhibiting the free flow of the energy source, which is the gas. And as a result, it's not able to power. In fact, he said we've gotten about 1,000 megawatts or something shut, right?
In the Tema enclave.
In the Tema Tempura. And he also assured us that by the beginning of March, this thing is going to be over.
Okay.
Today is, I think, 28, right?
My question is
27.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the obvious question then comes. We have the capacity.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Over and above.
Yeah.
What we are using now.
Yeah.
Why not switch to the other plants that we have?
Good. Okay.
And maintain the generation as we need it. I don't understand that. So if we have about 5,000, okay, and we are using 2,300 or 2,400, wherever it is, okay, that means we have more than 2,000 left.
Good.
So why would you then, if you're going to shut down 1,000 in the Tema enclave, okay, and turn off the gas, even though you don't need to turn off the gas, you are turning it off anyway. If that's the case, why won't you just switch the power to the other plants?
I agree. That's the purpose of having excess capacity, right? That is the purpose that the international standard practice is you should have over 20% of your energy requirement as buffer. So you need to ideally do that. I wouldn't be able to give you the reason why we are not opting for those other alternative reserves that are there. But we need to know what, using the gas option is the cheapest in the generational mix, to power your energy. And so if a chunk of the gas is being stopped, then definitely it's going to affect you. And if we want to use crude, maybe they look at the cost options and co. You get it. And if you want to do cost-benefit analysis, the gas is the best. But now that there's a challenge with the gas, why don't you switch? I agree with that question. Okay. But I believe my superiors can properly
Final question on this
way.
matter. When are you releasing the Doomso timetable?
We're not in Doomso. We're not in
Doomso.
So that's what the Deputy Minister has said. My briefing is also that we're not in Doomso. This is just an issue that we are dealing with. When it is done, today is 27th, 3 days, thence we're in March. They are giving us the assurance. So next week, definitely this is going to be a thing of the past. If you release a timetable and the thing is passed, what's the essence of the timetable? Okay, I want to trust we being the Energy Ministry and co is being honest with all of us. Okay, if it is financial problem, if it's a technical challenge, what do we lose by telling the Ghanaian people that because of ABC challenge, we are going to have this problem? And as my brother John Jenapo said, we will release a timetable. Why? What will we lose? Okay. We'll be we are always honest with the Ghanaian people and let the Ghanaians trust that this government is an honest and trustworthy government.
So next week, when you come, if Doomso,
if it's still there,
yes,
I will acquiesce to the option of going for a timetable.
Okay, all right.
Can I make a quick?
Why not?
Okay,
I think that my brother made,
just briefly, so that we
very
can move
briefly.
on.
My brother made the point about financial and the fact that they had sorted out all the financial. That is not true. As late as the fourth quarter of 2019, the independent power producers threatened that they were being owed over $700 million.
Yeah. I remember that.
And so which financial arrangement are you talking about that you have sorted out? Again,
the transaction within the industry.
Again, this whole excuse of
but that was last year, so maybe by now they've sorted it out.
They have not. They have not. You have not sorted it out. You have not. Knowing let's assume that it was knowing this government. Even debts that they don't pay when they are attempts to, the noise they make about it. I am telling you that you can confirm from the IPPs. They have not been paid that $700 million. Government still owes them. The problem is a combination of financial, technical, and all of that. And it's talking about honesty. You guys are not being honest with Ghanaians. Because if you were honest, you would not even be giving a flimsy excuse of pigging. Because pigging does not in any way interrupt the flow.
Well, he says they opted to shut the gas because it's an option that they have.
And yet the minister in his response says that it was an unexpected challenge. If you opted to do something, how does it lead to an unexpected challenge?
You need to clean it. Why? You need to leave it.
I know you are saying that you opted to shut it.
No.
You are saying that you opted to shut it.
And so the financial thing, unless, of course, my brother David, unless, of course, Edem can tell me that one of the IPPs is saying because the government owes us X debt, we're shutting down, we're not going to supply. Unless he can put a finger on that. That is not. Look, you can be indebted to somebody, and because of the arrangement and agreement,
so I want Ghanaians to know that you are still owing them because you were creating an impression that you have sorted.
That doesn't mean you cannot go. We know how to manage our debt. They didn't trust you.
So you are admitting that you haven't paid them, and that is the point I want you to make. You have just admitted that.
No,
because you haven't paid them.
I'm saying there's definitely a debt in the sector. But it doesn't mean
you opted to shut it down. You are saying the result was unexpected.
Okay, so
pigging must not interrupt.
Let's be honest. I'm not being dishonest. I'm being honest with the Ghanaian people.
Okay, let's go to GETFund. So now, the Deputy Minister of Agric has said that he's upset with the Auditor General for adding his name to the list. Auditor General says, I didn't add your name to the list. GETFund is the one that produced the list. We asked for information, they gave us information. What's the so how do you what do you make of this recent uproar that's going on with the whole release of the audit report by the Auditor General, with so many politicians, being apparently involved in receiving a lot of benefit from the GETFund, to the detriment, I might add, of others who apparently, even though it was said that they've been given scholarships were not paid to the schools.
Is it this issue of GETFund, the audit? I must commend the Auditor General for conducting a special audit of GETFund and encourage him that he should extend it to the Scholarship Secretariat, the GNPC, and all the other institutions.
You must commend the GETFund administrator, not the Auditor General.
No, I mean, is the GETFund administrator that
he requested? No, he requested for.
If you request for an audit and somebody else, I'm commending the person. Yes, so the Auditor General must be commended for GETFund. I'm passionate about the topic of GETFund because this whole GETFund Act 851, GETFund 581. Yeah. GETFund was established in the year 2000 as a result of agitation by student leaders led by the National Union of Ghana Students. So for us, especially those of us who have been student leaders, we see GETFund as one of our legacies, a result, a product of activism. So it is something that we want to work hard to protect and preserve it for its mandate, its actual mandate.
Okay.
So it is surprising that after the special audit was conducted, GETFund, that is so fond of giving excuses to brilliant but needy students that they do not have the financial capacity or muscle to support their education, higher education abroad or even locally, was rather doling out huge sums of monies to people who do not deserve such scholarships. Talking about MPs, ministers, deputy ministers, and all of these people, when we know that they are Article 71 office holders. I would encourage all our viewers to go have a look at the privileges that Article 71 office holders enjoy in Ghana. I have worked in Parliament before.
Okay.
When you are in Parliament, my brother, constantly you see even banks, financial institutions knocking on the doors of members of Parliament because of the guarantee that they have salaries coming in, and even if not salaries, they have ex gratia.
Okay.
They come asking that, we want to give you facilities. Come and take facilities from us. You can come and buy 50 cars. Don't you need cars for campaign? We want you to buy taxes and share to your constituents and be paying us with parts of your salary on monthly basis and all of that. It is because of the privileges that they enjoy under Article 71. So, no member of Parliament has an excuse for even putting in an application to compete for the scarce resources of GETFund as other poor and needy students are also competing for. In 2014, there was a gentleman from the University of Ghana Economics Department called Albert. He was the best graduating student from the department. Sharp guy, 3.92 GPA, CGPA. Albert constantly walked through, the sweat. And I'm saying this because at the time, because I used to be SRC president, he thought he could rely on me to also help him get access to GETFund. He had number of admissions abroad. All he needed, he even got scholarship from the universities. All he needed was for GETFund to guarantee him some living allowance and something to pay for his flight ticket.
Okay.
Intelligent, brilliant, needy boy from a very poor background. He didn't get it. So when I find out that in that same year, 2014, when Albert and many other poor and needy students were denied scholarships that they deserved, MPs were getting it at the time, I can only describe this whole thing as nothing but sheer wickedness. And the wickedness is on the part of the two parties. One,
2014?
Yes.
That was the year that Dr. Napo.
Yeah, yes. So I'm going to narrow it down to the specifics. Wickedness on the part of the GETFund administrator and his team, in the sense that they ought to have known better that the Act does not allow them to even give out such scholarships without consulting or getting approval from the ministries. When you check the clause E. So, again, the other people engaged in this that are also wicked are the MPs who even had the courage to put in an application. Dr. Matthew Opoku Pempe, a medical doctor, people who constantly keep bragging about the fact that they were self-made men before entering into politics. What could even trigger him to put in an application to GETFund, asking for scholarship to go and do a 3-week course? And when you check the Act says that GETFund can support other educational activities that will be in the interest of this nation. And when we talk about an educational course or activity that is in the interest of this nation, we are looking at specific courses that expertise is needed in an individual. So, for example, today, Ghana decides that we want to go into the production of robots. So we need AI experts. So let's go and recruit 50 or 100 students from the various universities and sponsor them to go to, say, India, to go to Russia, to go and study AI. That is understandable. So even that, when you fall in that category, it doesn't matter whether your parents are capable of paying your fees or not. But what it means is that the state is investing in you, then you will bring back the knowledge to come and develop a certain sector. Dr. Matthew Opoku Pempe was an MP at the time. Yeah. He was a medical doctor. He went to study a 3-week course in security. Yeah. It wouldn't make him an indispensable security expert, for which we would say that the state was justified in even doling out that money to him. So even for him to have the moral courage to apply is also wrong. And I think that we need to take some action on this. And this also brings to mind the question of reforms in our scholarship regime. Scholarship Secretariat, GETFund, GNPC, and the many others. I think that we need some radical reforms there, so that the poor and the needy, because on daily basis, I receive calls, I encounter young men and women who are truly deserving. Just yesterday on Facebook, there's a group on Facebook called Tell It All. Somebody posted a young man who had an A in all his subjects from St. James Seminary. The guy didn't even have money to pay for his first degree at Legon and Kane University when he got admission. So they reported on Facebook that the gentleman is now working in the farm. Very brilliant young man. These are the people that deserve this scholarship. Not doling out over $50,000 to people who are related to the Euphoria test and they are studying first degree in Georgetown or whatever university in the US. Okay. It is sheer wickedness. And it is making young people of this country believe that if the political class, the little opportunities that the needy should access, the political class are also fighting for it, then what kind of system, what kind of country are we building? This matter must not end here. I believe that we should go in and investigate it and ensure that the right things are done. Just briefly, what is happening between the Deputy Minister of Agric, Honorable Kennedy Osei Nyarko, and the Auditor General? I'm sure, excuse me to say that, maybe the Deputy Minister is not fully abreast with standard auditing procedures. If you are going to audit a book, financial statements of a particular institution, it is the documents, the materials that they give you that you audit. So you use that to express your opinion and you use that to do your report. So if you have a challenge that your name appeared in the audit report, go and check the primary books that were submitted to the Auditor General. So his fight should be with GETFund, not with the Auditor General and calling him names.
Okay.
David.
Yes. What do you make of what's going on?
Anytime I talk about GETFund and Co., I always want to salute a former student leader in the president of the Honorable Harun Idrisu for the immense role he played in the establishment of the GETFund. As a former NUCS president, I was watching as a young man, and I love the dexterity with which he pushed that agenda, and President Rawlings had no option than to submit and then get the law passed. And then, when President Kufuor took over, the implementation started. And so it's good. GETFund is meant, because it came on the heel of the introduction of the academic facility user fees and then residential facility user fees. And I've also said, just as you said, I've been an SRC president in the University of Education before. And I wouldn't think that I will, as a leader, I would discriminate amongst my folks and ilks. Whether the person is a rich person or a poor person, once he's a student and as a citizen can apply. What is my crime, David, if I apply for assistance in the form of scholarship, and you are clothed with the powers and authority to so assess or determine what my eligibility or not? Okay? What is my crime? I'm a citizen.
Okay, so,
you get it? And so you decide. Okay, when my brother was throwing all the tantrums and then trying to get the political angle skewed in, I was saying, wait a minute. I was happy you emphasized the 2014. Who was in charge of this country? Okay? He quoted a process that certain categories must go through the GETFund, the Board of Trustees. And now who caused them when it didn't go there? And the report says somebody decided to use his discretionary authority to so award the scholarships. Okay? And the unfortunate aspect is that that individual is one of the Ghanaian citizens I respect, admire, and love so much. Okay? Dr. Sam Gabra. Dr. Sam Gabra. A very fine man. Okay? So it tells you somebody can be fine, and when you give a responsibility, it becomes another matter altogether. I'm saying it for a purpose. We'll get there. You get it? So these are matters that we need to look at. And I doff my hat for Mr. Richard Buadu, the current GETFund administrator. When he took over, he said, no, a lot of things have been done haphazardly. Let's get it streamlined. So Auditor General, come do your job for us over a period. Okay? And then, it's also established that prior to 2009, the situation was that GETFund would disburse the money to the Scholarship Secretariat for them to do the awarding.
Which is what it's supposed to do.
That is what it's supposed to do. Yes, you get it. But as a caveat, I believe that man got around the lacuna or whatever to get his hand strengthened to do what he did. But if indeed the report says what he did was unlawful, then you kick in the processes that must make him answer. But if there's a lacuna and it's used, for instance, brilliant students and co, and if you go to a part, brilliant students who can be given scholarship to go for further training to join faculty. You get it? So it doesn't mean if I'm brilliant and I'm a bourgeoisie's son, and the University of Ghana or University of Education believes that they would need me to join faculty, I don't deserve to get it. That is why that caveat was put in the law. Okay? And let me come to the other beneficiary. Apart from, I'll touch Osei Nyarko's before I go to the others. Osei Nyarko, I agree with Edem, what he said. If you did accounting a little, understand concept of auditing. Why? You think the auditor is going to look at every name and call them to come and speak to him before he writes a summary? No. You get it? No, he will look at it.
No, but you don't even need to have done accounting or even understand accounting to understand that an auditor is an external person who has been brought in to analyze documents and information.
I agree that he doesn't have to be fighting Domelovo. He has to go to GETFund. Those who put his name in there. Okay? That why I've never. There's another lady who said she doesn't have benefit.
And another guy also came out just this
you
morning.
can only sue GETFund, not
auditor.
Auditor General. What has he done? When he comes, I will give my books to him. He will do his work. If I put the name George Ayisi 10 times, he will ask why George Ayisi 10 times. Yeah. If you justify it, he's good. He will take it back in his report. He will write it that one George Ayisi had benefited 10 times. Yeah. For emphasis sake, you get it. So that tomorrow he did his thorough job. Okay? So I will advise my Honourable Member of Parliament, Kennedy Osei Nyarko, not to take the Auditor General on the way he's doing. He should go to he should let his lawyers take on the GETFund board. Last one on the Education Minister. Look, as a member of parliament, David, we need certain skills to be able to contribute meaningfully at the committee levels or at the plenary.
So use the money that's available to you in Parliament.
No, he applied as an individual. There's a place he feels, okay, this course is relevant for me to sharpen my skills as a member of Parliament.
If you're an MP,
yeah,
there are things that are available to you. So why go to GETFund?
No, the law precludes him as a citizen from accessing it in spite of the fact that I'm in a privileged position.
I would suggest that the law would preclude him.
I know. The fact that I'm in a privileged position doesn't mean I'm rich.
What part of the law would he use to access the GETFund?
There's an opening there.
There's no opening.
Get to faculty and other any other.
Please. Does it mean that he's going to abdicate his role as MP to go and become a member of faculty?
With a three-way course? No. Is it a three-way course that would turn him a member of faculty?
No, we have short courses, Kofi. I've done a lot of short courses in Kofi Annan.
So you think that three-way course
communication? I've done a lot of short courses in Kofi Annan since I joined NABO.
So here's the thing.
I have a lot of certificates from Kofi Annan. Short courses.
So here's the thing. But you pay for it yourself.
No, my institution paid.
Not GETFund.
If my institution, if I were applying, I could apply to
GETFund was created for a specific purpose.
Students.
Yes, but not
brilliant.
Yeah, but it says brilliant but needy. It says
and
here,
there's a lacuna for brilliant students not needy.
Hold on. It says to provide supplementary funding. This is the B. Yeah. Provide supplementary funding to the scholarship secretariat.
Good.
Okay, which is assuming assuming that the secretariat. Scottish Secretariat already has some funding.
Good.
It's going to provide supplementary funding to the Scottish Secretariat for the grant of scholarships of gifted but needy students for studies in second cycle and accredited tertiary institutions in Ghana. Let's move on. Then it says to contribute monies from the fund towards the operation of students' loan schemes for students in accredited tertiary institutions through loan schemes mechanisms approved by the minister. So that's also another caveat there. Is the minister aware?
Was he involved? The regime, the competence of the regime. I'm not going to hold nobody. And my brother, the Honorable Okujito, said something. I got scandalized.
Hold on. Then the part that you are trying to use, which is the E, you're saying
for me.
To provide money
Thank you.
to support other educational activities.
Thank you. Good.
And programs for the promotion of education.
Good.
As the minister, in consultation with the board, may determine. How does
so if your administrator decides to take that discretionary powers, he must answer to that.
This here is overridden by the fact that if it's coming from the Scottish Secretariat, it must be to gifted and needy.
No, that's not needy there. That's not needy there.
The law cannot contradict itself.
Yes.
So therefore, this cannot mean that it's a caveat for you to escape, and therefore every rich person can just decide that GETFund is available. I'm an MP.
How can you get me to faculty? Because my father is a bourgeoisie and I'm a first-class student.
No,
and you need me to lecture at the university.
So you have individual cases here you are dealing with. It's just for a member of faculty.
We saw it's not about the individuals. It's the discretionary authority of the individual.
And I'm saying that it's morally wrong.
Let me tell you something. I'm saying this on authority.
Unfortunately, we ran out of time.
The infrastructure side is also
we've run out of time.
There's something very
We've
important.
actually run out of time.
But there's something important I needed to say. When you were reading the mandate, when you were reading the mandate, you read that. Are you aware that student loans have been in arrears?
Thank you very much to all of you for watching. I've been having this conversation with Edem Agbana, who is the Deputy National Youth Coordinator for the NDC, and with George Ayisi, who is a communication team member for the government. Thank you very much for watching this segment.
Hi there. I hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share with all of your friends. This is Breakfast Daily on Citi TV.
Join the Breakfast Daily team Monday through Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10. Join us for breakfast daily, only on Citi TV.